Hey, how's it going, everybody? So in this video, I'm going to do a quick overview and review of HughesNet. Now, normally wouldn't go out of my way to really do such a review, but with the experience I've seen other people have, it's just only right that I kind of spread this information. Now, would I recommend, let's just get to the point, would I recommend HughesNet as an internet service provider for anybody? If there's other options, I would mostly recommend the other options. The reason is HughesNet is actually they actually do have data limits, even though they say there's no hard data limits. The way they're actually wording this is there's no hard limits, meaning that you will continually have the internet, but there is actually a limit on how fast your internet will be. The way they do this is they actually sell internet based on packages. So you could buy a 10 gigabyte a month package, 20 gigabyte a month package, 30 or 50. Now, this becomes a big problem for a lot of internet providers. The reason is if you do this tier type of packaging, that means you have to be extremely careful on how your data is being used on a day-to-day basis. So as we get into technology being more and more convenient and everything's kind of connecting to the internet, a lot of this stuff will go out the window. Now, this is only half the problem. This wouldn't be as big of a problem if the internet speed they were providing, as well as the latency, and what the latency means is how long it takes for a signal to be sent from your computer to the internet provider, and that internet provider to then respond back to you. So that's how long it could take for information to be sent back and forth. If you tend to do a lot of gaming, this type of internet is going to be the worst possible internet you can get. And so this is where I want to make sure that they don't even mention gaming in here. All right, cool, they don't. All right, so as you can see, they don't really even mention gaming on here as an option. That's because this is also a satellite internet provider, meaning that the reason the latency is so high is to get your internet, you have to send it up to satellite, and then that satellite has to return the signal back down to you. So no matter how far or how fast the internet can be, the fact that the signal has to travel all the way up to space and as high as it does in space and then back down will always cause what is called a latency or a high ping. Now, to get away from this and to actually see some better options, thankfully, there's actually a website that was created by the FCC. This is an official government website, and this actually will allow you to put in your address. Now I've just picked a random place over here in California, and what it'll do is it'll allow you to show every internet provider in your area, and it will list it here over the side. Now what you need to take notice is the satellite providers. These satellite providers, if you can, stay away from them. All of them are going to give you high ping rates, high latency, and almost all of them are going to include a data package. So the satellite is arguably the worst internet you can get. Now, going up a tier is going to be the fixed wireless. What a fixed wireless is it uses the same towers as, let's say, a cell phone tower uses. And as you're starting to see commercials out there for 5G and above, as far as the speeds that cell phones are going to get, that is also including that the speeds for internet service is getting extremely high. Now, I'm actually personally on a fixed internet wireless right now in the location I'm at. And so the internet I'm getting, and I've actually dealt with Hughes before. I'm currently at a family's residence, and they were on Hughes Network. And when I got here and I saw the internet and how it was, I was absolutely floored. I've never seen such a bad internet provider in my entire life, and I've used quite a few different internet service providers across the nation. So what I went and did is I did some research and I stumbled across this website, and I was able to find a fixed wireless option that was a huge improvement. So since then I've actually had them upgrade their internet to a fixed wireless option, which has not only given them unlimited data, so they don't have to worry about using too much data or how much they watch, how many movies they stream, or any of that type of stuff. They can do that without a problem. And not only that is the ping has gone down to about 30 milliseconds, which is a huge improvement from the 2000 millisecond ping that a satellite provider will give. So using a website like this is going to be a huge option for everybody to kind of go in their area, and this is across the entire nation here. So let me scroll out a little bit, And you can see I'm over here just in a random place in California. So if I just come over here and we'll go to, let's go into Nebraska. So I can come into Nebraska, I click to random place, and it's going to show me that satellite is the only option here. All right, and so the farther you get away from a main city, unfortunately, the less likelihood you're going to get is a better option. So what you need to do then is you need to then look into your providers and see how they're giving your data. Now these three options right here, living in this area, this is a bad option. I would almost recommend contacting your cell phone provider, seeing if they can give you unlimited data, and actually then tethering your internet or your computer through a wireless cell phone network. Honestly, you're going to get unlimited data, and the speeds are probably going to be better, and the latency is going to be lower. I know it's hard to believe sometimes, but that's actually the case, and that's how bad HughesNet actually is. They're so bad, I'm recommending people to actually use their cell phone to tether their internet instead of actually getting an ISP server, or sorry, an ISP provider. So getting back to HughesNet, would I recommend HughesNet? No. If you can do anything in your power to stay away from HughesNet, please do. You can go in online, go to Twitter, do a hashtag HughesNet. You can actually just see the constant complaining everybody's doing when they get HughesNet. And why is this important? Is when you sign up for these contracts, they lock you in for almost a bare minimum of a year. So not only are you getting horrible internet service, once you find out you're getting such a horrible internet service provider, you can't back out of that without spending a lot of money to cancel your plan. Now, thankfully, when I worked with HughesNet, we got them switched over. They're so bad that we went ahead and just canceled them out correctly. It cost an extra about $150, so there's about 3 months left, had to pay all that off, and then just went with another provider. It was worth paying the $150 just to cancel them outright because it was just absolutely terrible, the service they were providing. This is arguably the worst internet in the nation. There's probably another one that's close, but regardless, they're all going to be satellite based. The good news for satellite is recently Elon Musk has actually mentioned that he is going to be looking to put new satellites up into space, and these are actually going to be a lot closer to our to Earth's surface than the traditional satellites have been. And he's actually stating that he's going to try to compete with networks such as like cable providers, and DSL. So if that comes to fruition, then we can definitely say that anywhere out here to these areas that only provide, so there's fixed here, for example, this is a great option. I would definitely look into this company over these other three options. But if there's only satellite in your area, unfortunately, then you might want to do a little more research and to see if that's possible, and then just come in here and check on this FCC website maybe once or twice a year and see if anything new's popped up for you. So keep your plans for the satellite internet under wraps. So try not to sign up for a really extended period, such as multiple years. Try to keep it at a bare minimum. So then if something new in your area does occur, then go ahead and pop into that. And if you do have to get satellite internet, maybe try to keep your package pricing down as low as possible. And again, look into using your cell phone as a possible tether option. Because again, these satellite, the way I would explain it is the technology is used for getting internet out in the middle of nowhere, such as you're in the Sahara Desert, right? So those satellite phones that you see maybe in certain TV shows when they're doing the exploring out in the wilderness, that's actually using this technology here. So these companies have taken that same technology and then provided a way of sending data to computers in networks where they're out in the middle of what would be considered the middle of nowhere in some remote locations. So again, if you can, go to this website. I'll have a link in the description. Please do yourself a service and see if there's anything other in your area. I did that, and it's been night and day from my experience from my internet provider. Now, of course, if you do have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below, and I'll try to get back to those as soon as possible. Thanks.